it is my pleasure to introduce you to our project. This is a project of each and every one of us. It is a project that goes beyond borders, beyond nationalities, and beyond ideologies. The European Union is more present than ever in the lives of European citizens, especially the youth. We are increasingly aware and concerned not only about the future of our individual countries, but also about the future of the European Union, which is the identity that unites us all. We are here at this European Student Conference, not to work for Europe and its politicians, but to be the decision makers of our own idea of Europe.
It was then that we realized that Europe can mean different things to different people. And it was then that we sat down and created our think tank, European Horizons. This think tank requires at the beginning only one thing from you: to believe in an idea, to believe that we can work to change Europe. Europe today is a force that shapes the world and that is shaped by the world. And in my view, anyone with an honest, and I underline that, an honest interest in Europe can believe in our idea.
It's not just the past which interests me, it's also the future. In these things, it's a bit like pop music. You may have been a very successful group, but you're only as good as your next hit. And I think it's a question of looking to the future, which is the most important point of this conference. And I'd like to congratulate you for putting together this student conference and assembling here all these students from across the United States, and I gather also from my other alma mater, the College of Europe in Bruges and Netherlands. And I wish you every success for this conference and for the launch of this new European Horizons virtual think tank.
To the point of innovation, Europe has no choice. It's not about whether Europe innovates and the speed at which Europe innovates. The globalization trend means that innovation is hitting Europe, whether they like it or not. Business schools, particularly in the United States, teach technology disruption as a class. And the hundreds of graduates that pour out of those schools join private equity firms or join US technology companies, which are smashing the margin structure for European corporates on a monthly basis. Innovation is not a nice to have, it is an absolutely critical requirement for the European economy if it's going to survive in the way in which the global economy is developing. The one key advantage which the European economy is not taking full effect of currently is its own size. The EU does not operate as a single market for goods and services as it's supposed to do, and as it is designed to do. If you're launching a product into the United States, you have a 275 million person customer base that you have instant access to with a single product, single packaging, single regulation. That does not exist in Europe today, despite the equivalent size of population, actually a slightly larger population, and the equivalent size of the economy. That is a huge problem for European corporates within the European economy. I couldn't agree more on the Juncker plan. I think it's about job creation. I think it's about targeted investment on specific projects. And so for that element of the work stream, focusing on where is that money going to go is really the key.
I'm from Dublin first and foremost. Then I'm Irish. Then I'm sort of from Brussels. And I'm half Belgian, yes. For me, Belgium is in some ways my adopted country. I'm very proud and privileged to have lived there. I have great admiration for that country and its people. And I'm a European. And these are not mutually exclusive identities. I'm not less Irish by being European. I'm not less European by being proud of the fact that I come from Brussels and I come from Dublin. And this is, I think, the issue that we have to build. This is not a mutually exclusive thing that you are European at the expense of your nationality or at your region or your city. It's multiple layers of identity. And being European is very, very important because indeed we do have a common European culture and we do have common European values, which are slightly different from those on this side of the Atlantic, even if I believe that we also share huge issues in common with the United States about values. But we have different ways of doing things. And the American way is good and our way is good, and both can coexist in a very cooperative manner.
There has been at this conference, as at all such symposia, a lot of talk about democratic deficit. My opinion is that the biggest problem that we have to confront is not that of a weak parliament, but that of the absence of a strong government.
But if you have illegal immigration, you have informal economy, you have violations of human rights, you have abuses, and so EU is giving up its principles in that frame. So migrants in this nightmare image are perceived as competitors, especially from the lower classes of society. Therefore, there is a high risk of racism, and if you combine the traditional high risk of racism with the Islamophobia you mentioned, it's a potential war amongst the poorest in our society.
We decided that we went to the European Union to foster innovation and a successful ecosystem of startups. And to that end, we will lobby the Commission to monitor the geographic concentration and connections between startups.
But challenges going forward would definitely be balancing the harmonization and reduction of market barriers with preserving the current status of customer protection in both parties. But despite this, we are definitely optimistic about the potential impact of the TTIP, specifically with moving towards global standards of consumer protection.
The goal of our subgroup was to motivate a greater sense of common European identity through shared institutions. And we submit 3 sets of proposals toward this end. The first deals with education. So this means expanding the successful and popular Erasmus program. Additionally, this can also entail extending youth summer camps. And the deal with education is that it needs to compensate for some of the failures and some of the shortcomings of the Bologna process.
First policy vision calls for an increase in the number of signatures needed to have a citizens initiative, and also proposes a binding mechanism in which if the Commission rejects an initiative, it becomes open to a pan-European vote. In the event that the pan-European vote results in a double majority of the member states and EU citizens, it would force the Commission to have to propose the initiative to the European Parliament and the Council.
We want the European Union to open up a track of accession for the members in the Eastern Partnership, and secondly, for the members of the Union of the Mediterranean, we want EU to provide economic packages that can compete with the non-conditional aid provided by other states in the region.
I think it is crucial for us to keep in mind that these ideas, diversity, social market-based economy, human rights, they do not exist in a vacuum, something like a European vacuum. Because our core ideas, diversity, human rights, social market-based economy, they are not European, they are human. And the European Union has the potential to realize them and to show to the rest of the world that what is possible in our land is also possible anywhere else. So why should we then commit time and thought to European horizons? Well, it is because our location in the United States of America gives us a unique and a critical understanding for the future of the United States of Europe. By convening here at Yale University for this European Student Conference, we have already done the first step towards this progressive society, and many, many, many more steps are to follow through European horizons. So seize the opportunity when you go back today to your universities. Found a chapter, stay in touch with us and with each other, because at the end of the day, a Jean Monnet might be in you and in all of us.